Welcome to the Fashion is Cool podcast, where we explore fashion's business side and the entrepreneurs behind it. Hosted by Dwight Carter, your guide to diverse careers and inspiring stories in fashion.
Welcome to the Fashion is Cool podcast, where we discuss the multi-careers in fashion through the minds of guests. Today's guest is Caira Butler of Neiman Marcus St. Louis. How are you doing, Caira?
I'm well. Thanks for having me today, Dwight. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
So currently you're the brand lead at Neiman Marcus? Is that the
Yes,
correct
it's the
thing?
brand experience lead.
Brand experience lead. Okay.
Absolutely.
But before we get into that, what that role entails, can you tell us your background in fashion and your whole journey in this fashion industry?
Absolutely. So as far as my inspiration when it comes to fashion, it definitely came from my family. My mom used to model when I was young. My cousin, she owned her own wedding boutique in Creve Coeur. So I would be around like a lot of fashion all the time. So then that brought me to high school. We had a fashion photographer who came and visited my photography class. We had no type of, besides art class, we didn't have like a sewing class, cooking, like we didn't have those different types of things. And so she came into this photography class and she was like, I do fashion photography at Columbia College in Chicago. And I was like, that's amazing. I didn't even know fashion photography was a thing. I had no idea. I believe this was it was either my junior or senior year. I had no idea that that was a thing. So she was showing us some of the work that she's done. I was like, this is amazing. So there is more to fashion than just sewing. And so
Yeah.
that's when I looked into Columbia and a few other schools, but Columbia was my choice of where I decided to go to college. And I just saw all of the amazing avenues that you can go into in fashion. I was so excited. So with me, that's where I chose fashion business and marketing. I was a double major in that at Columbia. And then I received a marketing at Lindenwood University, where I was previously. So a lot of my fashion background starts at Columbia. So I interned with a lot of different companies. I interned with Neiman Marcus. I interned with Vera Wang Bridal. I interned with Modern Luxury Publication because they have an office in Chicago. Chicago Fashion Week, Lisa Evans Style. She does styling in Beverly Hills, California. And I think that's, if I'm not missing anything, that's most of what I did in my college career, which was absolutely amazing and brought me to where I am today. So my first job outside of college was with Lindenwood University, where I was a creative coordinator of the fashion program. So that consisted of me recruiting students, just telling them how amazing the fashion program is at Lindenwood. Shout out to Lindenwood University.
Yeah.
And then also assisting with planning all of our events, fashion events that we had on campus, being our fall fashion show that we would host with the high school students, and then our mini collections from our students at Lindenwood, and then the spring fashion show, which consisted of, guest designers, community designers, and ultimately our senior students. So now that brought me to where I am today, which is the brand experience lead at Neiman. And this is where I create community events mainly for our private clients. But we also have events where, we invite the fashion community to come in and just network.
So, you guys do a lot of events. And
Yes.
so how does that work? Because I know you have a NASCAR connection.
Mm-hmm.
You guys always do stuff for them. So how do you get you said you do private events for your customers, but then bigger events. So how do they approach you? Like what's the whole process of doing an event?
Yes. So with NASCAR, someone that we work closely with NASCAR's Worldwide Technology. And David Stewart, who is the founder of Worldwide Technology. And so basically we had that connection there, and they just wanted to have a kickoff, Obviously, NASCAR has only been, I believe it's been 3 years now. And so Neiman Marcus had the privilege of assisting with the second year with NASCAR being in town. And then this was my first event working at Neiman Marcus, was able to assist with the third year of having NASCAR in St. Louis. And so with that being said, that collaboration, they just wanted to connect like the fashion luxury with NASCAR. And so we were able to put on a beautiful fashion show. And once again, this was my first event. So it was kind of like I was being thrown in, but it's like in the best way possible. I'm so super excited that I had this opportunity to do this for my first event. But basically I just styled the entire runway. We had about 30 looks. And basically what you can do during that weekend, because there's a bunch of events that happened over NASCAR weekend. So I wanted to showcase how you can dress for like the fancier evenings or during the day, or what you can actually wear to the show for our clients that love to dress up and pop out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So running fashion shows is also part of
Yeah.
your position covers a lot.
Covers a lot of different
Yeah.
things just because being in public relations and marketing, you never know what type of things you will get into, which I love because I never want to necessarily be tied down to just fashion, So with
Yeah.
NASCAR, obviously that was a huge thing, or we're doing sponsorship events with like Easter Seals, for example, and they assist with children and families that have autism, so we do a bunch of different things here and there, obviously working with jewelry as well, makeup and beauty. We have an event coming up for that on October 18th. So I'm able to do a variety of things, and that just helps to expand my horizons for future opportunities.
Is that my birthday party?
Is your birthday on October 18th? Well, you are invited. Please come. Come and get a facial.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't forget.
I definitely didn't forget. This event is actually for you. I love it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's going to be a really good event. We're having a children's fashion show on October 5th, which is going to be super duper cute. Just have all the kiddos come in with their outfits that they bought from the store, and they get to walk down the runway. Then October 18th, that's when we'll have your birthday party.
Right.
And the relaunch of the spa that we have in store. So we have a spa where you can come in and get a nice facial. We have a bunch of different options that you can choose from because it's basically, personalized skincare for what's best for you. And then October 23rd, we have our 50th anniversary event. And we have the Vice President of Luxury, Jody Khan. She's flying in, and she's actually from St. Louis. She went to MICS. So, we always have to brag about what high school somebody went to.
Yeah.
So she'll be coming in and basically narrating our show. And it's going to be absolutely amazing, celebrating 50 years of Neiman Marcus St. Louis. So it's a big deal.
Oh, that's right. It is 50 years.
Yes.
Is it this year, 2024 or 2025?
So 2024.
2024. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your first big 50th anniversary party? Or have you guys been doing other little things too?
So yeah, this is our biggest one. So the beauty relaunch, that'll also be within the 50th. So basically my plan is to do something with each department of the store. So the children's fashion show, then we'll have the beauty spa relaunch, which will also mix in with jewelry. And then Jody Khan, that's upstairs with women's. And then currently in the works of planning something with men. So I really want to do something with each department and just showcase the excellence and personality of each one. So
let me know when the men's thing happens.
I definitely will. I'm working on it. It's gonna be good.
So how do you connect with customers, your clients, through like social media and e-commerce and all that? Because e-commerce is getting a little bit bigger than brick and mortar. So how do you navigate between the two?
Yeah, so something that I really love about Neiman Marcus is that they do a good balance between e-commerce and then that in-store experience. And we also call it call it an experience because when our customers come in to shop, we want to make sure that it is something that is memorable that'll bring them back to come and shop again, which is why my position is in place so that when I'm creating this event, I'm creating memories for our customers so that they're like, oh, yes, I remember, doing this and meeting this person. I remember coming in and having this experience with this associate. So we just want to make sure that everything's up to par, to standard, up to Neiman Marcus standard, so that the customers return and come back. So between like social media, we didn't really have like a social media presence prior to me coming here. So with my past experience that I've had in social media, I've really been putting that into our Instagram, which has been very exciting, and people have been loving it thus far because, without us posting on social media, we would just rely on our associates who have to reach out to their clients to, tell them what trunk shows are coming in store, the events that we're having. So it's nice to also have that side of social media where people can, screenshot the trunk shows and be able to interact with us that way and ask me questions through social media if need be. So that we can get them to come in the store as well. Because once again, if you don't have promotion, who's going to know about it?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm here for with our social media presence.
Okay. Very cool. Going back to events a little bit, and this is going to transition into the students. So we had a Fashion Futures event at
Yeah.
Neiman Marcus
Yeah.
with the Fashion Fund, which I'm a board member of.
Yeah.
Can you explain how students benefit from going to events like that? Coming
Yes,
from
absolutely.
coming from working with students in a college, and now you're probably accepting interns, which is
Exactly.
different. So yeah,
Yeah.
so tell
So
us about that.
Fashion Futures, I mean, what an amazing event that was.
Mhm.
Something that I
Oh
wish
man,
that I had in high school. And even just going into college like freshman year, wow. I mean, I love what the Fashion Fund is doing. And Caleres obviously was a major part of this event as well. But I just love how they are introducing fashion, not necessarily introducing, because obviously fashion was a major part of St. Louis and it kind of just dwindled off a little bit. But as we all have been coming together, the fashion community, we are bringing it back one day at a time, one step at a time. And I'm so, so proud. But once again, this event, I wish I had in high school just to be able to meet the amazing fashion community that we have and just see where, we can get in with those internships and future job opportunities and really just get an idea of what our future, I guess you say, could look like. Because something I definitely tried to take advantage of in college was being able to experience, like, okay, what would it be like to be a stylist? What would it be like to work in a fashion publication? What would it be like to do event planning? So I was able to experience those different things. And I was like, I love event planning. I believe it's me. And that is why I came into, the position I am in today. So I think having that event was very beneficial for them just to kind of get a glimpse into the future and be able to speak with us just to understand what that could look like for them.
that. And how do you so how do you explain to a student what networking means and how to do it?
That's a good question.
Because
What
I
network?
had,
Mhm.
when I was there, and I had, there were some students that they had different ways of doing it. They came up with a friend, so they were a little
Mhm.
nervous, or they just came right up to me. And then there was one girl that stared at me for 45 seconds, and I kind of had to walk over to her and introduce myself. So, like, how do you make them understand that it's important and it's not a scary thing?
Yeah,
You're just all you're doing is meeting people and networking like you do at school. Like it's not,
exactly.
we're
Let
not
me tell
scary
you,
people.
because it is so intimidating because I'm in high school. I was always that shy girl. Freshman year, I was definitely that shy girl as well. It took me some time to understand how important networking was and how if you don't do it, you might regret it. And that's something that my teachers always explained to me. They said, you never want to have the question of what if? What if I did this? What if I did that? Where would I be now if I asked that question or if I approached that person? And that is a thing that really resonated with me because if I didn't take that opportunity, if, there was, who knows, I'm trying to think of an instance. I don't know. If there's somebody that I want to be like in the future, for example, me being a brand experience lead now, where am I trying to go? So being a brand experience lead now, I made sure that I surrounded myself with the people that I wanted to be. And look, I'm in this position now because I surrounded myself by those people. So just understanding that failure comes, but we can always overcome it. And that is so, so important because if you want to get where you want to be, you have to ask questions to
Yeah.
all
Okay.
students. That's what I would tell them too with practicum at Lindenwood. Like, you cannot be afraid to ask questions. These people are here. We want to help you, with the resources that we have. We want you to succeed. So do not be afraid, to come up to me and ask a question. I can't express that enough. I feel like
Yeah.
that's that's a you don't want to have the question of what if I ask this person something because then they might see another student that's doing it and they're like, man, if I would have just asked, if I would have
Yeah.
just sent that email or made that phone call, that could have been me. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but I just hope that they listen and take advantage of us
Yeah.
while we're open here to help them.
Yeah. Before I got into, I was in the music industry before fashion. And so trying to get into fashion was different for me because I didn't realize we had a fashion scene or even had fashion designers and all this stuff. And so I'm
Right.
learning this. I mean, I worked retail for a while, but didn't know I
Mhm.
was in fashion because
Yeah.
I was just getting a paycheck. But I made these business cards that said fashion expert,
Okay.
and I would hand them out at these events, and whatever that person thought that meant is what I would do for them or figure it out.
Yeah.
I was a stylist, I personal shopper, I did all sorts of things, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what I wanted to do. But that was kind of my trick, just kind
Yeah.
of get people to contact me.
I love
And I would just
I
figure it out
love
later.
that. Exactly right. You have to start somewhere. You have to
Yeah,
start somewhere.
yeah. So what do you think we talked about it a little bit, but what do you think are the key factors in retaining students here? I mean, jobs, obviously, but like,
Mhm.
how do we stop overpopulating the East Coast?
I know, right? I definitely think it's all about exposure, understanding the opportunities that we have here in St. Louis. Because once again, even me going to college in Chicago, there was that exposure that even the colleges were giving. Obviously when I would talk to them about, yes, we have this, we have this, we have this, these type of opportunities for our students, being able to have those facts behind the program and like where I would be able to go after college and things like that. And as you see, I'm here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah, right.
And so I definitely think, once again, with that Fashion Futures event, having more events like that every year, I think is so important. And I know that it can honestly just grow bigger and bigger. I'm just showing the opportunities that we have. Because, for example, one of our alum, she is working with Build-A-Bear right now, and she does technical production with them. And so I had her come into a practicum class at Lindenwood, and they were like, wow, I had no idea that that was a thing, that we even have the Build-A-Bear headquarters here in St. Louis. So once again, just having that exposure and being able to pull these different alum and just people in St. Louis that are just doing absolutely amazing and letting our students know, like, this is happening here, and this is something that you can do. So I think that's so, so important. And we've definitely been doing a better job with that for the past few years. And I think that it can continue to grow.
So what does your internship program look like at Neiman Marcus?
Yeah, so we don't necessarily have an official internship, but it would definitely be more of like a volunteering type of thing. So I reach out to, obviously, because I have that connection with Lindenwood, I reach out to them and I'm like, hey, we need dressers backstage to assist with dressing the models, steaming, taping garments, et cetera, et cetera. And then recently I've been wanting to get students in to assist with social media since I've been into that more. So I'll have them come in and maybe do like little interviews or, obviously taping the fashion show. And then I can either edit it, or if they're pretty good at editing, they'll go ahead and put them together themselves and I'll post it to social media. So that's pretty much it. It's kind of like an on-call type of thing. I let them know fairly in advance the events that we're going to have. So I have students assisting with the children's fashion show. We don't need help with the event on the 18th, but then of course on the 23rd, I have about 7 students signed up right now to help backstage. And they love just being a part of these type of events, because when I was in college and I interned with Neiman Marcus, I would take like an hour train from Chicago to, I always forget if it's Northbrook or Oak Brook. They both have Brook in it, so it confuses me. But one of those, it would take like the hour train just so I could go help behind the scenes, so I could help with the styling, because I just felt so passionate about it. And I knew that if I once again put myself into those opportunities, that this is something I could do in the future. I never ever thought that I would be in the position that I'm in now, even though I worked a lot with Neiman Marcus. I didn't think that I was going to be like a brand experience lead in the future. I knew I wanted to do something with events, but I never knew I would be here, which is so amazing. It makes me really happy. But yeah, so doing those internships and just being around those people will help, gain so much knowledge. I learned so much from being a volunteer and putting myself out there, because once again, I would just email the people at the store and be like, hey, can I please come help if you have any events coming up, and they would always say yes, because they're not going to turn down help.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
so that was always really good. So I definitely tell students to just take advantage of these volunteering opportunities that we have here, and in any way they can assist, are always, happy to.
That's great. So how long was the process of you getting hired at Neiman Marcus? Because we knew somebody was coming. They just
Yes.
wouldn't tell us who.
Right. And they were trying to find someone for like 6 months. It was like a 6 month thing, and man, let me tell you, I was praying about this position for a while. I was like, gosh, should I do it? I was like, should I take this position? Is this position meant for me?
Yeah.
And I was going back and forth about it for a while, Dwight. I just like could not put my finger on whether or not I should do it. So I was filling out my application on my MacBook. I had one browser open with my resume cover letter. Then I had another browser open with the Neiman Marcus application. So I was filling it out, getting my cover letter together, nervous, like, am I going to submit it? Am I not going to submit it? Let me tell you what happened, Dwight. My computer, first of all, it's never done this ever, but it glitched and submitted my application. When I say I couldn't believe it, like my mouth dropped. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get to put my cover letter on. Like, it's freaking out. So I immediately texted Darren Kramer because I had his number from, working with all the events. And I was like, ignore the application. I was like, I didn't even submit it. I didn't finish. And so he texted me back. He's like, that's actually really funny because I was thinking about you for this position. And I was just like,
Look at that.
wow. I just couldn't believe it. And when I tell you, God is just like, this is for you. You're not listening to me. This is because he kept trying to tell me I'm still listening to background noise of other people and getting opinions. And my computer has never glitched like that, Dwight. So I just couldn't believe it. It was definitely meant to be. And that's why I'm here today. And I'm very blessed and happy to be here. But yeah, so the process honestly took longer because of me being in my head until the computer glitched. And it was like, okay, I guess I'm working here now.
Yeah. God hit complete and send. He's like, it's just, I'm over this.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking too long. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Let's move on. I got other stuff to do.
Exactly. That is so funny. That's too good. I mean, that story blows everybody's minds when I tell them that. It's just like, wow, it's amazing.
Well, you seem super happy there.
I am. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, I love working with Dan too. It seemed like it'd be a fun atmosphere.
He's a great guy. There's a lot of laughs that go throughout this office every day. Everybody, like I said, here is just super kind, super welcoming to me and always opening, just to help me out with whatever I need, being a newbie here. Because sometimes you never know. You don't know what you're going to expect when you're going to a new environment with a bunch of new people. So I was truly grateful to be able to come into this space and everyone just being so helpful because right now I'm still in that phase of pretty much every event that we do is new to me. Of course, I know how to plan an event, but then there might be a different person I have to contact or a different route that we have to go for something. So I'm just in that process of everything being new, but it's been really good. It's been so fun. And, NASCAR, like I said, being thrown in, that's something I needed just to get right on in and be able to collaborate with everyone. It was so much fun. And I'm looking forward to next year and doing that event.
And how does one find out about the events at Neiman Marcus?
Yeah, so I would definitely say, since we're more active on social media, we do a lot of postings to our stories, and I'm also going to create a highlight bar so that people can just go back and just look at the trunk shows as I upload them and the events as I upload them. Sometimes, like, for example, the event with Jody Khan, that's more of a private client event. We might open up, to some additional guests that'll be able to come that aren't necessarily clients. And so that's sometimes good to just, at the end of the day, be on my radar because I'll be like, oh, I can invite Dwight, or something like that to attend this event.
Yeah.
If we do have openings for it. So, but yeah, all in all, I would definitely say social media is the number one way to find out about what we have going on.
Cool. All right, 2 more questions for you. They're not related to your job or fashion. So, be ready. And this all comes off the top of my head too, by the way. This is a thing. What would you say you're most passionate about outside of fashion?
Okay. Outside of fashion. Like, I'm passionate. I don't see outside of fashion. I mean, if we just get personal and me saying like family, like outside of fashion, I mean, I'm very passionate about the younger generation, but that still relates to fashion. But can I still talk about that? Because I still understand.
Yeah.
Because the younger generation, when it pertains to fashion, once again, like we talked about the what if and not having that question in your head, just go out there and do it. I'm so passionate about the younger generation and getting into the fashion world because when I was getting into it, I had some people that were in my ear just saying like, are you sure you want to do fashion? Are you sure that's something you want to get into? Are you going to make money doing this? You don't want to be a doctor. You don't want to be a vet. Discouraging words, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just really want to motivate the younger generation to just going after your passion. It is just so you can make money in anything that you want to do. Just make sure that you're networking, connecting
Yeah.
with the right people, educating, what you learn in school, also educating yourself outside of that, obviously being internships, shadowing. And that's what some people tell me. They're like, oh, they don't have an internship. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like,
Right.
give them a call. Can I shadow you for a day? And they'll
Yeah.
more than likely be happy to do that or connect you with someone that will,
Yeah.
um, like there's no reason to give up with all the resources that are offered, especially nowadays. So my mom, she always says like, I wish I had those, type of things now, like the different avenues, for example, in fashion photography, fashion planning, fashion styling, bridal, men's, shoes, shoe design, like there's so accessories. I mean, there's just so many different avenues that you can go down that a lot of people didn't know about then that we have access to now. So
Yeah.
just taking a deep dive into everything and experiencing all that you can to choose a specific path that you want to go down. And let's just say too, because I love fashion planning, but I'm also open to doing like public relations with sports, public
Yeah.
relations with entertainment. I'm happy to also go down those different avenues as well. You never have to be closed off to one thing,
Right.
but just never be afraid to go after your passion, no matter what anyone says, because I went after mine. I'm 26 years old. I'm working at Neiman Marcus as a brand experience lead, and I have a lot more, coming down the way that's going to be in my path. And I'm just super excited for the future and super excited that I listened to no one when it came
Yeah.
to this discouraging work, because this is only the beginning, right? And it just really makes me so excited for people that want to go into fashion, because I want to help them out as much as I can with the resources that I have. And I'm going to have so many more in a year and in the next 2 and however many. So, yeah.
Wow. We are so lucky to have you here in St. Louis. So your passion is fashion. It doesn't go out of that.
It's passion and
And
the younger generation.
yeah, getting them into the fashion industry, which I agree with that. I enjoy doing that stuff. So
Yeah, it makes me
that's
happy.
great. And that. All right.
Yeah.
So one more question,
Yes.
and then we'll be done. What is your favorite? How about favorite restaurant in St. Louis?
Okay. This comes right off the top of my head. Gio and Chesterfield. They
Okay.
have Italian food. It is so, so good. They have a really good happy hour because it's all week, but it's also, it's family on and it's more of an intimate setting. All their food is made from scratch. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'll try to go there at any chance I can get. The
Yeah.
service is amazing. So I would highly suggest going to Gio and Chesterfield.
What's your favorite dish there? What do you recommend?
I get the crab linguine,
Okay.
and then I tell them to add a lot of spice because I love spicy. And then they have an apple and fig salad. That's really, really good.
Okay.
And then I love a good espresso martini. That's like my favorite thing, and they make it very, very well. And then with it being the fall season, now they have the pumpkin espresso martini.
Of
That makes
course.
it even more exciting. 'Cause I'm one of those girls that likes the
You are
pumpkin.
the pumpkin girl. Great. Man, I don't get it.
It's delicious, Dwight. Everything about pumpkin is delicious. Then we're on the peppermint. It just keeps going.
So you guys are probably getting ready for holiday soon, right?
Exactly. Come right
That's
on in
like
the store. We have the trees
right
set up.
away.
Have the Christmas tree set up. We have the
Oh,
display of our beautiful glass pumpkin.
oh my God.
So we're already getting started.
Pumpkins and trees already up together.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Retail, when it comes to the holidays, it just makes the year go by so much faster.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, I can't even process what the next holiday is. Because then after Christmas, obviously it's New Year. Then they're already setting up for Valentine's Day. It's like, it's crazy. But that's just how it goes. Life of
Yeah.
retail.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was definitely a pleasure, and like I said, it's great to have someone like you with so much passion on um, our students and our younger generation, future fashion professionals, helping
Yes.
them guide their way. Yeah, I have some students. I'll send them your way.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
can you rattle off your social for Neiman Marcus? Like, how do they get on?
Absolutely. So our social is Neiman Marcus St. Louis. It's pretty easy. ST for Saint, not fully spelled out. But yeah, follow us on there. Get all the updates. You can send a DM. More than welcome to share. You have my email, so you can share that with the students so they can
Yeah.
contact me. But yeah, I'm excited to help.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks everyone for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do all the things, and I will see you next time. Thanks again.
Thank you.